Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Singapore Pavilion. How are you guys feeling? After 5 minutes of me asking how you guys are feeling, how are you guys feeling? Very, very nice. All right, everyone, welcome today to the Singapore Pavilion. I'm just going to put this bow down so it's not too disruptive. So my name is Denise, so I'm one of the Singapore youth delegates, and today we are here to present to you inspiring change through community action. So thank you so much for being here today. I'd like to take the moment to also introduce my fellow youth delegates. So Anthony, please wave. Woo! And then we have Dylan. And then we have Brandon over there. Woo! And last but not least, we have Riddhi, who is right here. All right, are you guys excited? Are you guys excited for the free pins and snacks? Are you guys actually excited for programming? Both. Very good. All right, so that was a quick introduction of all of us. So thank you so much for being here today. So welcome today to our global community garden. But before I start today, I actually want to start off by telling you guys a little bit of a personal story. So when we were ideating this program itself, we were asking ourselves, there's so many thousands of people here today at COP, there's so many pavilions, there's so many panels going on, how can we actually do something that's a little bit different? So what we decided to do is to start off by calling it a global community garden. So today you can think about this as an experimental lab. We want you guys to meet new people, experiment, exchange ideas, and also, I think more importantly, forge new friendships as we work towards climate justice. And as we all know, I think climate justice is something that's very deeply interconnected. So it doesn't discriminate against your borders, it spans across oceans and cultures, and we hope that today you guys can meet one another in our community garden. So without further ado, I'll give you guys a little quick rundown of what to expect. So we have seed, cultivation, pollination, as well as harvest. So for seed stories, you'll be hearing from 4 amazing speakers today, at which you will be hearing from them in just a little bit. And afterwards, we'll be having a little cultivation circle. So I heard that the Amazon soil is pretty fertile, but don't worry, you guys are not actually going to be gardening. You guys will actually be split up into groups of 4, and you guys will get to meet those wonderful youth leaders over here, and you guys will get to exchange ideas and cultivate these ideas together. Afterwards, we'll be having a little bit of a pollination moment where you guys can go around, exchange ideas, and take a look at the ideas that were discussed during the cultivation circles. And last but not least, you got to harvest and bear the nice low fruits of your own labor. So thank you for joining us for this 1.5-hour session, and I hope you guys are excited as I am. Okay, also, I do see a few people streaming in, so if you have not registered, please take out your phone, register. You'll be getting free pins as well as free Singaporean snacks. So I'm just gonna leave this here for a quick 10 seconds. So I see you guys are scanning. Am I blocking? Sorry, please. Alrighty. Thank you so much for scanning. So actually, one of the reasons as to why we're getting you guys to scan this is so that you guys can be connected to your fellow youth leaders here who are all advancing climate justice. Alrighty, so now it's time for the very, very exciting part. So I would like to introduce you guys to our 4 amazing table hosts today. So first up, I would really like to invite Tishiko up to the stage to do a really quick introduction about your seed story. Tishiko, please. All right, you know what, you can pick anywhere. It's free and easy.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I just had to organize myself. I ran from the green zone. Who's hitting up those all the steps? I'm like doing averaging 15,000 steps. Wow. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Tish, like a fish, and I'm a proud Kukulug woman from Kukugul Nation from the island of Musig in Zenith-Kes, which is the Torres Strait Islands, which is the group of islands between Papua New Guinea and mainland Australia. And there is 150 of them, and we are part of the Melanesian people of the Pacific Islands. But just to let you know, we were sort of colonized by Australia. So we're First Nations and Indigenous to Australia. So I'm going to be really brief because we have only 3 minutes for the chat for this. So excuse me as I get my notes because I want it to be super, super concise. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me here. Okay, so I speak today as a Torres Strait Islander campaigner and organizer, someone who has spent years supporting communities across the continent, resisting fracking, defending country, and demanding climate justice. My why is simple. It's about survival, it's about dignity, and it's about justice. I come from islands that are on the front lines of the climate crisis. Rising seas are swallowing our shorelines. Grave sites are being washed away, and yet our people continue to fight to remain on our homelands. That fight led to a historic case that I feel really proud to support, the Torres Strait 8, where we took the Australian government to the United Nations Human Rights Committee and we won. The UN found that Australia had violated our rights as people by failing to protect us from climate change. That decision was so powerful. It was in that moment, but also a reminder that our justice doesn't end with a ruling. It begins with resourcing our communities to lead solutions. So through my work, now what I do is that I've seen the limits as we sit here today of the global mechanisms that aren't meant to support us. Under the UNFCCC, the international framework, Indigenous peoples cannot access resources despite winning these cases of loss and damage and climate finance. That means our frontline communities are already experiencing climate damage. That's why I started this vehicle where we are a collaborative giving circle, pooling resources from everyday folks like yourself and working together with philanthropy and partners like Patagonia and Ben & Jerry to resource our communities right to the front lines. So I hope you can come to my circle later, to our little garden table, and I hope to share more. Thank you.
Round of applause for Tishiko, please. Woo! I can invite you to stay here on stage. All right, so next up, we have Meg. May I invite you up to the stage, please? Woo!
Wow, Tishiko, what a story. I'm not sure if my story would be able to match this, but let me start with my humble story. So my name is Meg. I come from Mongolia. I'm not sure if you have seen it on the map, but it is right in the center of the Asian continent. So currently, our country is being affected mostly by desertification and water resources. And it is one of the most vulnerable towards the impacts of climate change. So how I started in this journey is that 5 years ago, when I came back to my country after studying abroad and also working abroad at the international organizations such as UN Volunteers and UNITAR, I have realized that despite my culture, Mongolian culture, being so deeply connected to the nature and sustainable practices, no one is speaking about climate policies. No one is aware about the fact that the changing environment is directly connected to climate change. So I decided to co-found an organization called Climate Mongolia to change that. So we started off as a campaign, which went really viral, reaching 500,000 in my country. And it brought a lot of interest and started a movement from the grassroots community. So this year, what I did was that I organized a national youth climate conference where we gathered indigenous youth, rural communities from pastoralist, nomadic herder families to gather, to build the capacity and also gather priorities so we would generate policy recommendations for the government, mainly to be submitted to the nationally determined contributions, as this is the main, for us, the main mechanism to be national policy, to be directly incorporated into the national policy. So as a result, we were able to grabbed the attention of the government, and our policy recommendations were incorporated directly into the implementation plan of the NDCs. So that is my story, and I personally come from a background, pastoralist, nomadic background, and also indigenous background. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meg. That's very, very inspiring, and we can't wait to hear you in your cultivation circles. So right now, I'll also like to invite our next seed story, Katie, up to the stage, please. Katie, please.
Hello. Is this working? Okay. So hi, everyone. Good afternoon. What a pleasure to be on the stage with such incredible women. My name is Katie Weintraub, and I am the Brazil lead for She Changes Climate. I'm originally from the United States, as you can tell with my accent. But when I was 21, I just graduated from college, and I could not see myself doing the normal career, corporate or, something mainstream. And I'd always loved Latin America. I'd spent my summers in Ecuador and Colombia and Guatemala, and so I had this dream to come to Brazil and learn about food systems and sustainable agriculture, understand where our food comes from. I've always loved food and health. And so I came to Brazil, I came to Rio de Janeiro, and I discovered a project called Sinal do Vale, which is a center for restoration in the Atlantic rainforest right outside of Rio. It's a farm, 200 hectares, where we restore land, teach people. We call ourselves a biohub. So we prototype nature-based solutions and teach them in the Guanabara Bay region. And I fell in love with Brazil. I fell in love with the nature. I fell in love with creating a career that is unique and different and not following the rules of what society tells us we need to do. So I've now been in Brazil for 11 years. I think at this point I'm a Brazilian at heart. And I'm now also the Brazil lead for She Changes Climate, which is an international organization that promotes women's leadership in all levels of society. So whether that is women in COP delegates, whether that is women in the corporate sector, whether that is women farmers, really we believe that women are not just victims of climate change. Women are the solution holders. We've been doing it for thousands of years, and really trying to change this narrative. And that without gender equality, we are never going to reach all the climate goals that we need to do. So I'm really excited to be here. Tish is also a She Changes Climate ambassador. So it's a pleasure to be together on stage. And I'm really excited to be with you guys. I feel so reinvigorated. I think I'm technically still a youth because I'm 32, but I'm feeling a bit old now compared to all of you guys. I'm very impressed with the energy and everything that you guys have done to put together. So really happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Katie. And I think you also brought up a really good point. There's actually an all-women's panel. And I do also want to say that youth is a mindset. It's not about the age, it's a mindset. All right, last but not least, I would love to invite Pooja up to stage. Pooja, please.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Pooja Tilvawala, pronouns she, her. I was born in India, grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and now I'm in London. So say hi when you're in town. I run an organization called Youth Climate Collaborative, and this year we're celebrating 5 years as an organization. So speaking of seeds, I remember when, 5 years ago, we got our first seed. So how did I get started in climate? Well, I always wanted to help improve the quality of life for people. And I've got family members who in India were freedom fighters, against British colonial rule, who, used peaceful means of fighting for what was right, and also used warlike tactics. And when it comes to improving the quality of life, I did not know what a job looked like in this space, or what life after graduating college would look like. But then I went to a climate conference in San Francisco in 2018, and this was after President Trump had withdrawn us from the Paris Agreement the first time. And, subnational actors had stepped up to say, we're still in this. And it was really a moment of reflection to try to understand what all of us could do, what role we could play, regardless of, that type of support. And really stepping into our own power. And it was super interesting to see the intersection of climate change with everything else, and seeing all the marching on the streets and then the conversations inside and the different types of collaborations and magic that can happen. And then I joined Youngo and then joined, my first job was in collaborative problem solving and ended up just seeing similarities in problems that youth around the world were facing and trying to sustain their action, trying to sustain being involved in the movement, facing challenges like mental health or lack of funding or lack of mentorship. And so our organization really tries to provide that backbone infrastructure through programs around skills building, access, and community. And our circle today is focused on community building and capacity building. So yeah, we're excited to get started. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our lovely, lovely seed stories. I do want to share a little bit of a little reflection today. I think what I'm really hearing about is that climate action actually begins from maybe a frustration or maybe a conversation or maybe a what if. And I think it's really inspiring to see how you guys have developed and changed the world in your own little actions. I'm getting a little shy, Tishiko. Alrighty, so I think without further ado, I'm now going to split you guys up into your cultivation circles. So we do have quite a big crowd today. So again, if you have not scanned, please do scan to register so that we can actually have your contact, can get free pins and snacks as well. But other than that, we will now be splitting you guys up into your cultivation circles. So based on the form that you filled up, I need you guys to identify your stage. So are you a seedling, are you a sprout, are you budding, or are you flowering? It really doesn't matter whether you come from a lot of experience or not. Even if you don't have experience, it brings with you fresh perspectives. All right, now I would like to invite our speakers to move into your designated area. So you guys may stand up, please. All right, so you guys can move to the 4 different corners of the Singapore Pavilion. And I would like to also invite the rest of our audience over here to stand up. And you guys may feel free to go to the cultivation circles that you guys would like to join. So I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds so you guys can start moving around, be a little bit active, you guys can decide. So in case you guys do not remember, on the policy side, we have Meg on partnerships and funding, we have Katie on communication and storytelling, we have Tishiko, and last but not least, for community capacity building, we have Pooja. Alrighty, I'm gonna give you guys 30 more seconds. We gotta move. Okay. I see that Pooja's circle is expanding pretty big. Very good. Okay. For Meg's circle, please come over here. Yes. I see people moving to communication and storytelling. Are you excited?
Come to us. Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna give you all 15 more seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Yes, count down with me. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty. do not worry about the timing. So our lovely, lovely Singapore delegation facilitators will be there to help to guide the discussion as well. So feel free to sit down and get cultivating together. Hello, hello. One more minute left. Please start to wrap up within your groups. One more minute. All right, everyone. We are done with round one of the cultivation circle. So I'll need you guys to gently just stand up. Everybody, come on, stand up, stand up. No? You guys don't want to stand up? I'm so sorry. You guys need to stand up. All right. I'm going to make you guys move on to your next plot. So please feel free to move around. Move to the next plot that you guys want to go to. Yeah, like farmer. Alrighty, everyone. Also, it's a little bit cramped, so if you guys want to sit on the floor, you guys don't need to restrict yourself to the chairs as well. So please move on to the next cultivation plot. So on my right, that's communication and storytelling. On my left, we have connecting individuals. Do move around really quickly. In the middle, we have partnerships and fundraising. Feel free to grab a chair. And over here right now we have policy as well. So if you guys are interested in policy, please come to where I am. Alrighty, 10 seconds for you guys to get together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We will now begin Cultivation 2.0. Alrighty, one more minute left for Cultivation 2.0. Please wrap up your pointers and get ready to move on to the last cultivation plot. Alrighty, and that's the end of Cultivation 2.0. May I invite everyone to just quickly wrap up, and you guys can stand up and get ready to move to your last cultivation circle. Alrighty, thank you so much, guys. Let's stand up and we can move on to the next circle. Take your selfies, take some photos. Don't worry, there will be time for you guys to network a little bit more later on. So you guys can just stand up and we can start going. Good job so far on the cultivation circles. We have one last one left. I hope you guys are still feeling energized. I heard a little woo somewhere. All right, everyone, please move on to your next plot, your next and final plot for cultivation circles. Alrighty, cultivation tree. Final cultivation. I see that the middle group is already ready. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Very good, very good. Please make yourself be comfortable. You can sit on the seats themselves or you can sit on the floor, whatever works best for you guys. Final cultivation circle. Take a seat. Everyone is looking very, very excited. All right, and let cultivation 3.0 begin. Alrighty, one more minute left. Time for your final thoughts before we conclude. So please wrap it up very, very quickly. One more minute. Thank you, everyone. Alrighty, everyone. It is now the end of our cultivation plot. How are you guys doing? I see that you guys are still very, very deep in discussion. That's okay. You guys can wrap it up very quickly. If not, I have to use the bow again, guys. Come on. I love the very, very engaging discussions that are going on, but unfortunately, everyone, we will need to end the cultivation circles. Thank you so much. You guys can take your final selfies, take a quick photo. Round of applause for you guys. Yes. All right, so you guys might think, is that all? Is this the end? But it's not the end. We will now be having a pollination time. So I'll invite every one of you to just stand up and you guys can walk around and check out the different boards so you guys can actually see what was actually discussed in like community capacity building, the communication storytelling, to funding and partnerships, as well as policy and systems. So you guys can walk around and also just feel free to say hi to the person next to you, exchange some name cards, exchange your LinkedIn, exchange some contacts. We'll be doing this for a quick 10 minutes. So at this point of time, I also want to remind you guys to just stay on for a little bit longer so we can also give you the pins as well as the snacks from the Singapore Pavilion. So without further ado, you guys can like start walking around, checking things out, and thank you so much. So 10 minutes, guys. So as you walk around, please make sure to also mark the people or perhaps the projects that you'd like to connect or collaborate with. So feel free to take a post-it note and write down your name and leave your contact right there, and so that you guys can connect and collaborate with each other even after this session. Thank you so much. Alrighty, guys. I hope you guys had a good pollination time. I would like to invite all of you to take a few seats. Just take a little seat, chill for a little bit. We have a little thing for you guys to sum up the day. Feel free to take the seats. Feel free to sit on the floor. Make yourself comfortable. Whatever works. You're already comfortable, right? Alrighty, everyone, please settle down just a little quickly. All right, so we know that not everyone managed to go to all 4 cultivation circles. So we thought that would be a really nice thing to also invite our Singapore delegation facilitators to come up to do a quick 30-second summary of what each circle has actually done. So without further ado, may I first welcome Riddy up to the stage. You're already on the stage, so woo! Thank you. Now, I'll pass the mic to Riddy.
All right, everyone, can you hear me? Okay, I think the mic's a bit soft, so I'm going to try and speak as loudly as I can. So I was sitting with Katie in the partnerships and fundraising circle. I think we had a very, very productive discussion there. And we mainly started off with this question of how can we build, more effective and meaningful partnerships to scale and amplify climate action. And one of the core themes that we talked about was really relationship building, that human aspect behind it. We talked about trust being really, really imperative to the relationships that we're building, how it's not transactional. It doesn't need to start off with being transactional. And I think Katie said something really, really constructive there. That was dream big, start small, go fast. So when you're starting off working with an organization, starting off a partnership, you test the waters with your partnerships first. So start small. It's okay to start small. Whatever minute change that you're able to make, whatever minute partnership that you're able to make, I think that's it's an important message there to just start. I think that's really what we were talking about. We were also talking about how it's really important when we're building partnerships with different people to overcome the burnout from this need to satisfy everyone. You're being pulled in a lot of different directions when you're trying to build these partnerships. So having enough compassion and time for yourself and as climate professionals to really rest and recharge. And I think we had Sunday. I'm not sure if he's still around, but Sunday really contributed something really valuable to the discussion, which is that how do you try to convince leaders, organizational leaders, country leaders to trust young people when it comes to moving climate action forward? Like, how do you ensure that young people are able to gain the trust of these broader organizations and your country? So that's probably the gist of what we talked about. If you've not managed to see these during the cultivation circles, we're gonna just leave them here for you to have a look at. Yes, I'm gonna pass it on to the next person. That is Dylan.
Thank you so much, Rudy. So my name is Dylan. I'm part of the Singapore's National Youth Delegation. I was there with Meg from Mongolia, discussing things about policy and systems and how policy and systems thinking can actually help accelerate and complement ground-up actions. So I'll keep it quick, but a couple of the pointers that we discussed about how beyond symbolism we could have more meaningful involvement of indigenous and young leaders in policy platforms, and how policymakers now may not be fully ready to have youth involved, and how we could encourage more meaningful youth participation as well. And sorry, just a quick one. Yeah, how we could, beyond one-off events of government consultations, how do we have more people being sustainably involved in connecting grassroots to national policy? And she had a quick advice for her younger self. Is to not be afraid and to take the first step, which is a very important message for many of the young leaders around. Yeah, just a quick one.
All right, may I invite Brendan up to the stage?
Hi, my name is Brendan. Please excuse me, I have a pretty bad cough today. But yeah, I was from the communications and storytelling circle with Tish, like the fish. Um, I'm just going to summarize, oh my goodness, the connection. I'm just going to summarize what we discussed in a quick couple of points. Basically, from all the stories that were told, like basically, Helene kind of talked about how she uses games, to make people think from the refugees' perspective. Pearl talked about how she works in seaweed restoration and how the importance of translating scientific research into something that's a bit more accessible for the common audience. And I guess from all the stories that were being shared and all the ideas that were being generated, a couple of key points really stood out, which I would summarize by saying, ask yourself, what are the stories that aren't being told that really should be told? And then also ask yourself, what are your strengths? How can you really benefit the world by telling these stories that, deserve to be told? And we also, I guess, discussed a few tools for how to do that. So namely, I think the power of film was something that was said to be really powerful in driving action. And I think one thing that really stood out to me personally was the importance of emotion. Climate change is an emotional topic. It's deeply personal to everybody and each of us in the room here. And I think we shouldn't shy away from, translating the emotion from what's personal into something that's more systemic and that can be shared by everyone. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. Our MC just told me to wrap up in 30 seconds, so I'll try my best to do it ASAP, okay? So we had Pooja with us, and our team was on community capacity building, and we talked about how can we strengthen the capacities of communities and youth to lead and sustain climate solutions. So in the interest of time, I will just be raising some very important key pointers that I think was raised during the discussion. One very important thing is that we need to know how to identify gaps within our communities and not to duplicate efforts that other people have already done. So basically to summarize it, is we need to do something new that has not been identified yet. And another key pointer that I think was raised by Jeff is the importance of mentorship and coaching for all youths. So I think this is a time where adults can step up or elder youths can step up to mentor the first-time youths starting out as climate leaders. So if you're interested in any other pointers, please come back and read the board. I'll be more than happy to explain. But yes, MC, please take over.
Round of applause, especially to Anthony, who has actually made it in 30 seconds. So to sum everything up, I just really want to say that all of you here are change makers. All of you are here with a shared belief that we are here together to tackle climate action, and we are here to make a difference. And I think even though we're at COP, a lot of change doesn't need to just be from top-down mandates. A lot of it can actually be from the ground up, which is exactly what all of you are doing. So I really like to encourage all of you to keep planting those seeds, even though it may not be time for you to harvest it yet. I'm very sure that you guys can keep believing, keep planting, keep sowing the seeds of the future, and change will come. At this point of time, I would also like to extend our thanks to our lovely, lovely speakers. So we actually have a gift for all of you for taking time off. So Tishiko, you're looking at me, so I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna invite you back up to the stage. Tishiko, please. Aww. Alrighty, next up, can we have Pooja up to the stage, please? Woo! All right, next up, can we have Meg up to the stage? Round of applause, please. Thank you so much, Meg. And last but not least, can we have Katie up to the stage? Woo! Alrighty, so before we wrap things up, we have a very, very important mission for all of you. Can y'all guess what it is? No? Of course, it's a group photo. That's right. I hear you. I hear you. All right, photographer, how do you want to do this? Maybe we squeeze in, then y'all take from here. Or
We should take a picture of all the speakers
Later,
first.
later,
Then,
I
oh,
think.
gosh, yeah.
all right, everybody, can we squeeze to the middle? Yeah.
You ask the speakers to stay. You ask
Yeah.
the speakers and the SG you have to stay.
All right, guys, squeeze. Tight little orange squeeze.
Wait, I'll...
Oh, I love a good plot. Yep. Alrighty, everyone, just come closer. Photographer, are we doing good? Are we doing good? Is it tight enough? Or we need everyone to squeeze a bit more? All right, we look at the photographer first, okay? Okay. All right, everyone, look at the photographer, and then we can say youth. 1, 2, 3, youth. Are we good? Are we good?